Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to start off by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation unto the hopeful elect out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling of election sure. Shalom. All right, greetings. All right, this is your brother Hashah from the Great Millstone Savannah Camp, coming back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, I pray and hope that it's edifying. All right, and this is gonna be entitled "Can We Eat Whatever We Want to Eat?" And this lesson was inspired by someone I know. They asked me about the scriptures. Specifically, what the New Testament says about, your diet. All right. And, this is a common misconception, all right, within the Christian community, all right, really around the world. Okay. And there's a reason for it. Okay. And the answer to the question is no. All right, you cannot eat whatever you want. All right, there's a law. All right, there's laws set in place on what we are to eat. All right. And so I want to get these precepts. So let me just go to Leviticus, the 11th chapter. All right. I'll read it in the New Living Testament. All right, because these are a little, they're a little bit more easier to understand. All right. All right, and this is I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I'll read a good bit. All right, this is Leviticus, the 11th chapter, in verse 1. It says, "Then Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Of all the land animals, of all the land animals, these are the ones you may use for food." It says, you may eat any animal that has a completely split hoof and choose the cut. You may not, however, eat the following animals that have split hooves and that chew the cud, but not both. The camel chews the cud, but does not have a split hoof. So it is ceremonially unclean for you. The hacks, all right, meaning a badger, chews the cud, but does not have split hooves, so it is unclean. It says the hare chews the cud, but does not have the split hoof. Yeah, a rabbit. All right, and the reason behind this is, when you go into these certain animals, all right, they will make you sick. All right, I watch a lot of Naked and Afraid, Alone. You watch those shows, they always try to eat rabbits. All right, and the people that always eat rabbits, they always get sick. All right, because those are unclean animals. All right, it says, so it is unclean. Here we go. This is for those Christians, the Christians, the so-called Christians of today. It says the pig has evenly split hooves, but does not chew the cud, so it is unclean. Yeah, because of their diet, they're unclean. All right. Furthermore, it says, verse 8, it says, you may not touch the meat of these animals or even touch their carcasses. They are ceremonially unclean for you. All right. So you're not even supposed to touch their dead carcasses. All right. That's why the Lord, when you go into scavenger animals like pigs are scavengers. They eat whatever they can find. All right. They eat whatever they can find. You wouldn't eat people like to eat pigs, but they won't eat what do you call that? A vulture. All right? Because a vulture eats dead animals. All right, dead, rotten, decaying flesh. That's what a vulture will eat. Well, a pig will too. Okay? It says of all the marine animals, these are the ones that you may use for food. Salaki, that's the old English. It says you may eat anything from the water if it has both fins and scales, whether taken from salt water or from streams, meaning the fresh water. All right, your rivers. It says, but you must never eat animals from the sea or from the rivers that do not have both fins and scales. Salakia. They are detestable to you. This applies both to little creatures that live in the shallow water and to all creatures that live in the deep water. They will always be detestable to you. Always is the key word there. You must never eat their meat or even touch their dead bodies. Any marine animal that does not have both fins and scales is detestable to you. All right. See, this has a purpose because those things that don't have fins and scales were made to clean the ocean. They were made to clean up those dead carcasses, man. And in America, these things have been added to your diet. All right. Now the shrimp and everything is it's basically clean now. Not clean, but they use it. Salakia, let's get it. Yup. All right. So you have certain insects. I just want to get a picture. Let's get just an image. All right. Shrimp, lobster, crab, rabbits, turtles, rats, eagles, bats, dogs. They're unclean. All right. And I'm not even sure if duck is clean. Let's get it. It says these are the birds that are detestable to you. You must never eat them. The Goffin vulture. Yeah. The Griffon vulture. Yeah, no one wants to eat a vulture. The bearded vulture, the black vulture, the kite, the falcon, falcons of all kinds, ravens of all kinds, the eagle, owl, the short-eared owl, the seagull, hawks of all kinds, the little owl, the cornet, the cormorant, the great owl, the barn owl, the desert owl, the Egyptian vulture, the stork, herons of all kinds, the hoppy, and the bat. Ye must not eat winged insects that walk along the ground. They are detestable to you. You may, however, eat winged insects that walk along the ground and have joint legs, or so they can jump. The insects that are permitted to eat include all kinds of locusts, bald locusts, crickets, and grasshoppers. So those are clean insects that you can eat. All right. It says all other winged insects that walk along the ground are detestable to you. So you're not supposed to really eat insects, just locusts, crickets, and grasshoppers. All right. It says the following creatures will make You ceremonially unclean if any carcass touch their carcass. If any of you touch their carcass, you will be defiled. If you pick up their carcass, you must wash your clothes and will remain unclean until evening. All right. Which we don't have to go into that. All right. But here are the examples of the clean animals, man. All right. Clean animals, bro. Yeah, none of these animals have the split hoof. Or these have the split hoof and chew the cud. Yeah, I believe the duck is unclean. Yeah, I don't know why they had the duck in there. But the duck is unclean. See, that's why you got to be careful on the Google. It says you can't eat duck. I don't think you can eat duck. All right, I wouldn't do it. Just because there's speculation, they're web-foot birds. All right, their hooves are not split. Yeah, because that first one, see, it showed the duck as clean. That's not true. All right. But nevertheless, we'll get into why the Christians, all right, why they, why they're saying that these things are, are clean. All right. And we're going to get the whole context of what is being said. All right. Because this is important. This is Matthew 15:1. It says, then came Yahushua, scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandments of Yahweh, all right, of God, by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, honor thy mother and thy father, and he that curseth father and mother, let them die the death. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited from me, and honored. Salakia. It says, in honor of not thy father or mother or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God none effect by your tradition. Ye hypocrites. Well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. So he was basically calling them hypocrites because they were nitpicking at everything that every little thing, all right, that the apostles were doing when they were following Yahushua. Every little thing they would try to catch them up and be a snare. All right. So you got to realize, what was going on at the time. All right. Which is why he started talking to them in parables, because they were so carnal. All right. Meaning they couldn't understand the spiritual things that he was saying, because they were being contentious. All right. It says, but in vain they do worship me, teaching for the doctrines the commandments of men. And this is what they were doing, man. Just like today, you have people that, they celebrate these holidays, and we can tell them all day, all right, that these holidays, man, they not, they not biblical, all right, and they're still gonna do them. Well, we're gonna celebrate Jesus' birthday. We're gonna celebrate the day Jesus raised from the dead. That's not biblical. But these are the doctrines, the teachings of men. All right. Just like the teachings of men teaches you that you can eat whatever you want. You can eat pork. You can eat shrimp, crab, and lobster as long as you pray over it. These are the doctrines of men. It says he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. And a lot of people hear this, but they don't really understand it. It says, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man, meaning the doctrine. All right, because he's talking about the doctrine right here. Okay, so he was saying that it's not what goes in you that defiles you. Now, he's not saying that you can eat whatever you want to eat, but he's saying the words that are coming out of your mouth defile you more than what you put in your body. All right. Basically sarcasm, like, man, you might as well go ahead and eat pork, because the stuff that you believe in, the stuff that you teaching, it's defiling you. It's abominable. It's detestable, just like the food. All right. And this is what was coming out of the mouths of the Pharisees, just these wayward doctrines, man. All right. Just like today, you have men teaching that there's not going to be a Jacob's trouble. You have men saying that the MOTB is is sin. That doctrine is detestable. You might as well tell Israel to eat whatever they want to eat. You might as well, because you're not teaching the right thing. You're not telling them the right way. All right. It says, then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. Yeah, and because they were so, contentious, the Lord said that they were going to be rooted up. Verse 14, it says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And this is why it was about the doctrine that he was saying, man. All right. It says, and if the blind lead the blind, they both shall fall into a ditch. And then answered Peter and said unto him, declare unto us this parable. And Yahushua said, are ye also yet without understanding? He's like, damn, y'all didn't understand what I said either. All right. Verse 17, it says, do not yet, Salakia, do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly and is cast out into the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, meaning the things that you say, they come from your heart. All right. When you go into the heart, it means your mind. Your mind and your heart are one. They're synonymous. All right. So this is like your inward man. All right. So the things that you say and confess, you teaching other people, you telling other people. All right. This is what is coming out of your heart. It says, and they defile the man. Yeah, the words that you speak, these are the things that defile you and condemn you. All right. It says, for out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies. These are things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. So he was saying that, basically the words that you speak, now he's not saying don't wash your hands. You're supposed to wash your hands before you eat. That's just common sense. Your hands are dirty. You're touching things day to day. Wash your hands. But he's saying that, these aren't the things that really defile you, because in the ancient world, they would really have to go by these ceremonies, man. If you were unclean for even till Eve, you couldn't touch anybody. You had to be by yourself. They took that very seriously. It was a very serious thing. All right. But Yahweh Shai, when he came on the scene, he brought light to, what was, what. The main, he made the main thing the main thing. The main thing was keeping keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, but it was also being a spiritual man, following that of the spirit. He brought light to the law. He brought wisdom to the law. He said, which one of you, if it was the Sabbath and you lost your sheep, would you not go find your sheep? You wouldn't let the sheep just go because it's the Sabbath and you can't do work. You see? And this was said because he knew that we would be in this captivity. All right? And he basically said that the law was spiritual. He knew that they weren't sovereign. He knew that we weren't going to be sovereign in this time, that the law wouldn't be able to be enacted. Like, if you wanted to stone someone of the LGBT or the alphabet, you couldn't do that, because you're not sovereign. This is not a law that's established throughout the land. So if you did it, you would be arrested. So Yahweh Shai, brought wisdom to the law. Say, I come not to, fulfill. Yeah. Yep. This is Matthew 5. Matthew 5:17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot nor tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. So let's get that in the NLT. Matthew 5. Yeah, Matthew 5:17. It says, don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not even one the smallest detail of God's law will disappear until its purpose is achieved. So if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, you will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But anyone who obeys God's law and teaches them will be great in the kingdom of heaven. So this is what the Lord came to do. All right. And this is why the law is still here. This is why the law is established. It is not done away with, as the Christian church teaches, that you can eat whatever you want. All right. That you can do whatever you want. No, man, the Lord left these laws in place. All right. Oh, verse 20. This is important too. It says, but I warn you, unless your righteousness is better than the righteousness of the teachers of the righteous law and the Pharisees, you will never enter into the kingdom of heaven. So basically he was saying that this is spiritual. All right, because the Pharisees, they kept the law. All right. And he was, when you go through the New Testament with Yahweh Shai, he was speaking about the Pharisees, man. He was speaking about how they were so carnal, man. The only thing they thought about was the law. All right, but they weren't doing the deeds. All right. They weren't good people. They just weren't. A lot of their doctrines were wrong. A lot of their teachings were going off. They knew the law. The law of Moses is, is pretty plain. you know. But when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to being a spiritual man, they didn't have it. All right. So I just want to do that quick lesson. Lord willing, I pray that it was edifying and exhorting. I want to end off by giving all glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling of election sure. Shalom.